first date I went on, he asked me to go ice skating.
She's a good roller skater, but not...
And we were going ice skating on the river, White River in Indiana, and I fell down so many times on my backside that my slacks froze. And so when I got back to the house, it started thawing out, you know. That was my first date.
It was about 0 on the river.
I think that's fair.
Okay.
I don't know offhand.
Is that how you met?
No, we were in college together.
I've always had a good time with dates. Sure.
We used to go roller skating a lot.
And partying.
Well, how did you meet?
In school.
Just in school?
Yeah.
School kids?
No, in college.
She used to hang around out in the walls. When I come by.
No, but I knew his twin brother first, but he was married.
Which one of you proposed?
He did. I had to pay for the license. I'm still waiting for my $2.
That was quite an investment.
Yeah.
Good return.
Yes. What can I say? That's been good. Yeah, we were out walking, and he said we might as well stop in the courthouse and get our license.
That was the
And he didn't have any money.
I didn't have any money.
So I had $2, so we went and got our license.
That's how he proposed? Let's stop at the courthouse?
No, he didn't propose before that.
That was probably a couple of days before payday. I just didn't have anything.
Well, you want to know what happened after we got married?
Right after you got married?
No, we went to Kentucky for our honeymoon. Kentucky? Anyway, we got back home and we had moved our wedding date up, so that's the reason it's over the 4th, because we had holiday from work. We had an extra day. And a week later, he got laid off.
Lost my job.
What were you doing?
I was working for Guide Lamp in Anderson, Indiana, and just shoving parts around, stockboard. And the automobile industry took their seasonal slump, so I was laid off. But next week I went to work for a contractor. I worked all that summer in the construction game.
I met his the wife and the contractor on the street, and she asked me if Bert was going to be laid off. And he says, I said yes. She says, tell me to go see my husband.
How long did you know each other before you got married?
4 years.
So anyway, that's how we began our married life. Oh, where's Buzz?
I don't know. Okay, we're gonna find
Buzz?
out.
Oh, he's got a few
How many
stories.
of the family members did
She's
you
on the porch.
had you already met? Did she know all of your family and vice versa?
Oh,
No.
yeah, I met them.
No. Oh, you mean before we got married? Oh, yeah.
Okay.
But
He invited me to a party at his house one time, but it wasn't just me, it was a lot of girls.
yeah, Buzz and I invited a whole bunch of girls.
Well, Buzz,
You had a whole bunch of brothers, huh?
There he is.
well, Buzz ate with us when we were first married. Remember that, Buzz?
Yeah, she complained because she never could keep the leftovers. We always ate them first.
You know, you just got married and you had such a crew outdoors and they were eating everything inside. So I was trying to fill them up and I made gallons and gallons of lemonade. Never enough. That's how we started married life. Then he went to school. He went to Purdue after we were married in the fall.
You
Any
put him
other
through
questions?
school?
Huh?
You put him through school?
Well, sort of, we both worked.
Yeah, I worked nights and she worked days.
Yeah, he worked nights. Let's see, he got up in the morning and, no, you went to work at night. 11 o'clock at night, he went to work. And I went to bed. And then he went to school the next morning. He was in school all day. And I worked and came home, fixed dinner for him, then he went to work.
When did he sleep?
Well, after I got out of school.
He came home and went to
Oh,
sleep.
okay, that wasn't long. Well, that's right, you went to work at 11. Yeah, okay.
Oh, I got about 5 hours.
Yeah, you were young.
You talk about hard times.
Yeah.
Well, what college did you meet in?
Anderson. This is a church school in Anderson,
And you
Indiana.
went to Purdue after you were married.
Alice has a degree in elementary education, and I have a bachelor's degree in math and history. And then I have an engineering degree from Purdue.
Was that a master's?
No, it's just a bachelor.
You had to get two bachelors.
Two bachelors.
Well, he's had enough college credits to make a master's, so.
Oh, I've got about 220 hours, semester hours, undergraduate, 10, 15 graduate stuff. Every time you change jobs and go on to a new job, why, you have to take a new course in mathematics.
Mhm.
So you learn a new field of mathematics. So
Bert,
it's, yeah.
When I proposed to your daughter, you made me sit down in front of the whole family and you give me the 3rd degree. Did Alice's father do that to you when you proposed?
No, her father was dead.
My father died.
How about Lucy? Did she do that to you?
Most likely Lucy would.
Yeah, it sounds like Lucy.
Lucy isn't here. That's one of my sisters.
Oh.
She never had children, and she used to wonder how I ever raised 3 children.
Well, she would boss the family.
Yeah, she was the boss of the family. Yeah, she was a sweet gal.
Did you see the picture over there of the 5 kids on scooters?
Yes.
There's quite a story of that one.
Oh.
I was the smallest one on there, and I wasn't big enough to have a scooter. This was on Christmas Eve, so they delivered 4 scooters next door. But there were 4 kids next door, and the parents weren't home. So when the parents got home, they were going around and around through that house on their scooters. And I never did find out how disappointed those kids were. I know how disappointed I was the next morning, because I raised so much thunder that they went down and got me a scooter on Christmas morning, somewhere.
Oh.
So my cousin came over and took the picture.
But the neighbor kids never got their scooters, eh?
No, they were sure disappointed.
Can you imagine having 5 scooters in a house?
Well,
Well, 5 roller skates, 5 sets of roller skates.
What brought you to the West Coast?
What?
What brought you to the West Coast?
Well, after I got out of school, I had a job offer in New Jersey, or Pennsylvania, rather. So we moved to Pennsylvania, and we lived up and down the East Coast for about 25 years, various jobs. And one day I was working for Westinghouse then, and they said, well, we got a job for you on the West Coast. And I came home and told Alice, and I have to go to California.
Poor blue skies.
Yeah.
California.
Doug was just going to Purdue then, so we took Doug over to Purdue and got him started in school. Went home and I got on an airplane and went to California. Well, I worked about 6 weeks on the job, and so it was kind of a consulting job. And I says, thank you, and went back home. But it was a pretty special job, so they couldn't get anybody to fill the job. They advertised in magazines, etc. No one wanted to work for Westinghouse on the West Coast in this particular job. So they twisted my arm and moved me out.
Put more coins in the bucket.
Yeah. Yeah. So I worked, this was a job down in Newbury Park.
Yeah.
And I worked there for about 3 years, and the job ended then. And they says, well, we got a job for you back in Baltimore. And I says, no thanks, I lived in Baltimore. So I quit Westinghouse and went to work for Hughes Aircraft.
And that's where you finished.
Yeah.
Were you working at Westinghouse when you developed these bulbs here, or?
Oh,
No,
no.
these
Hughes.
are ancient.
Yeah, the top one and the center one and the one on the left there were RCA. And then that little special one over on the left-hand side, the silver dollar, that was what I was working on at for Westinghouse on the West Coast.
What about the televisions that you built?
Well, that was in Baltimore. I was
I saw
working
that.
for Bendix Radio,
What did she ask you?
about the television set I built.
Oh, yes, he did.
Oh, yeah. I made most of the parts and set it up myself. I didn't design it, but I copied the design, made a lot of the parts, and put it all together.
We had a second-story apartment. He had a workbench in the bedroom. And he built that TV set, black and white. And I was in the hospital, had Linda. And while I was in the hospital, he went and got the picture tube, 12-inch, which was a big tube thing.
Yeah, that was the biggest tube on the block.
And so when he turned it on, he had the colors reversed. He had the white where it was black, black where it was white, and he fixed that.
Very simple.
You remember that television
Sure, I
set?
remember that.
He and the kids were the only ones had television set. They come in, it wasn't even in a case, it was just in a crate. And all the neighborhood kids sitting in front of the television set. It's before they had the networks.
There wasn't much on.
1948.
That's when they came out.
That house.
Just watching the
You were there, yeah. Yeah. Don remembers it.
Oh, yeah.
You weren't very far from there then, were you? Were you
He was
at Bainbridge, right? I remember going over there, yeah.